everybody, and welcome to the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge, coming tonight from, where are we tonight? We are in Watkins Glen, the sunny Watkins Glens. That's where we are. It says Laguna Seca, but it isn't actually. It is Watkins Glen. Yeah, so we've got the wrong box. Never mind. Whoops. It happens. So yes, it is Watkins Glen we're actually at tonight. We'll go back to the backup. There it is for the Crest Autosport. Currently, this is the first time we've raced on the short circuit, so there is no current winners. Basically, there's no winners. So historically, we've always had winners, and we've always been able to bring up who was the fastest driver, but currently it is all to play for. There's a lot going on. I will get you updated. There's a lot of tow action going on tonight. A lot of drivers are using their mates and their little groups to get that extra bit of speed they need. Ballast is on board as well, which makes it a little bit more tricky. I will be here with you. I am your commentator. That is me, Andy Pauly, and I will be with you for the entirety of tonight's proceedings. We have qualified. We've got practice for the next 10 minutes or so. Then after practice, we go into the qualifying session. That is 15 minutes long. It is everyone on track at once. So we are looking about a 112. I had seen a 111, but I think something was slightly off when they did that lap because it was disallowed. So about a 112.5 is what we're looking for. Do I really think we're going to go faster than a 112.56.1 that we've seen in practice at the moment? I don't think so. I don't think so. In terms of the cars that we're running tonight, that's the wrong button. It's that button. Maybe it is that one. No, it's the wrong button again. This happens all over again. There's the cars that we're running. The Alfa Romeo Juliet, the Honda Civic, the Opel Astra, the Megane. It's basically the hatchbacks. The Cupra, the Honda, the Peugeot, and the Volkswagen. It's completely changed from last season, where we did run all the different types of tracks. Different types of cars. But as it stands at the moment, yeah, we're not. We're running nothing but hatchbacks. Ballast is now aboard as well. It is 50 kilograms for place one, and it's all the way down to 10th place with 5 kilogram increments. So that means that first is 50 kilograms, second is 45 kilograms, and it's all based off the championship current standings. So there as it stands at the moment, Pavel, new to the season so far, he's currently leading out on 120 points. He has got 50 kilograms on board. Jamie Dory second for next gen, 45 kilos. Stu Neal is third, race 2 winner last time out. Pavel was race 1 winner last time out, 40 kilograms. Poddy Flack was in the middle, set the fastest lap at Brands Hatch in race 3. Halfway in the pack of the field, 35 kilograms. Everett Championship, the most successful driver so far in the Crest Autosport League, is down in 4th position. And at the moment, he's just at the bottom of the top 10. He's going to be running around with 35 kilos. Lee Horn is 25 kilos. Benny Norton, 20 kilos. Then we've got Brendel, 20 kilos. Alex Ward, race 3 winner last time out, 10 kilos. And Franiger Rostans, 5 kilograms. Then you've got everybody else all the way further down the field. Save it, pause it, have a look. As it stands out. In terms of the team's championship, there aren't that many teams in there. It's 2 drivers per team at the moment. The Next Gen Racing boys are winning that. That's Dory and Horn. The International Racing team of Kozlov and Pavel, and those two with their new mate Alex, have all been helping each other out. We'll go to them now. They're in the background. Then you've got Apex Next Gen, the other Next Gen Racing boys, the other Apex Predator boys, the Crest Autosport, the other Next Gen Autosport boys, Danger Mouse Racing, that's Derek, Neil and Martin Kirby. They're down the CA3 category, and then the RC Racing boys. And in terms of the different categories, we do run 3 different categories within the Crest Autosport World WTCC Challenge. Racing, you've got CA1, CA2 and CA3. That's not tyre compounds, that is their abilities to go around the track based on times. And basically they all get sorted out into the fastest times, basically. So there's your top drivers in each one. It's 27. There are a couple of drivers. There are 30 drivers on the field, but because they have not raced this season yet, they have not been placed into a category. As a result, so far, Pavel, Dory and Stu Neal are first, second and third in CA1. Ward, Kozlov and Hans are first, second and third in CA2. And Plummer, Lopez and Higgs first, second and third in CA3. It is going to be an absolute nail-biter. There's the calendar for the rest of the season. We are at Nora's Ring next week out, which is a fantastic track. Love it. It's basically 2 straights with 2 chicanes and 2 corners. And that is it. It's about 6 corners, basically. But it is a great little racing track. Laguna Seca, Zandvoort, then Suzuka West, then all the way down to the GP, and then we finish at the classic track of Spa. So it is going to be an absolutely nail-biter of a season this time out. And as we just split now, you can see there that this is what I was talking about earlier. So Kozlov, Matvi, so you've got Kozlov at the back, there he is. Then you have Pavel in the middle, followed by Oleski at the front. And as we see going through this section of the racetrack here, this is what's key here, because the car at the front is going to be pushing the air out of the way, and that's going to be allowing them to get a much better tow going through the entire of the track. And that's what's going to be key here with the ballast on board. That's what's going to make it very, very tricky for all the different type of drivers. So, if you're new to this type of racing and you're thinking, Andy, what is he talking about? Well, we can go over to the new feature. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Combox. I'm not sure what it's doing over there. So we've got a new feature, some driver analysis. So if we were talking about there in practice, where we were looking at the different type of drivers and what we're going to see a lot of tonight, basically, in terms of the drivers pushing the air out of the way. So the car at the front, this car here, there's 3 of them together, and what's basically happening, or what they're doing, is the car at the front, which is Kozlov, he is the driver, this driver here, he is pushing the air out of the car in front. He's creating and punching the hole for the cars behind. And what that's allowing the drivers behind to do is basically gain more speed. They're gaining maybe 1 to 2 tenths a second per lap. So what you'll see in the middle here is that Pavel is in the middle, and the car in front, which is his teammate, here, I'm pressing the right button, that one is one of his teammates, and that's the other one of his teammates, are working together to allow him to create, effectively, a much smoother airflow. So as the air hits, it goes up, and it goes up and over that car and down, effectively giving him 2 to 3 tenths a second per lap. And that's what's going to be key this time out. That's what's going to allow the drivers to effectively gain a lot more speed and that extra special little bit of performance that they're all going to be looking for this time out. So it's going to be very, very tricky, I think. It's going to be very, very interesting what we're going to see. In terms of split times that we've got coming up so far on the board, it's kind of a mix. So Kozlov is currently second fastest. He was the third car in that group of cars. They're all working together. Cloughy's done the same thing as well. He's out on the track on his own. His teammate Stu Neal is also in the Renault Megane, both running the 33 in black. They have been working together as well, and that's how he got a 112.561. Now, Cloughy is fastest in Sector 2 at 22.061. Kozlov, second, is a 22.151, and then Benny Norton's the 22.201. So he's pretty much the only driver so far, Michael Clough, down in the 22.06s. Everyone else isn't. This is, I'm going to call him Alec. I do apologise, Alec, if that is not how you say your name. You can shout at me later. He's been helping his buddies out, and that was Pavel and Kozlov, who are currently in second and fourth. So, yeah, they've all been helping each other out there in the backstone. There's Rostance in the background. I don't think he's going to be doing anything magic, and Butcher's going through at the front as well. So, yeah, with less than a minute left, it's all going to come down now to who can be the quickest, who can really drive that performance now, who can work the toe. They're all going to have to go out together, and that's going to be key as well. So in this league, we do run open setups, but what we also run is the ability that you have to go out on track like a proper qualifying session, as we see Lee Horn completely binning it into the sidewall there. But he holds on to it. Now, there's a couple of key points around this track that are also going to play key into getting a good exit. And the problem is, if they overrun it, this is one of the corners that is going to be key to a good exit, is this overrun there. So, if you run wide at this corner, the penultimate corner, it's actually going to cost you a bucket load of time. And that's the problem. They've all going to have to extract the maximum out of the car with 7 seconds to go. Right, let's have a quick look over to the chat. Benny, 22.05. I done a 22.059. So Benny is coming up on the board saying he has gone faster in that sector. According to the board, Benny, you've done a 22.201, fastest in that sector. So my board might be slower or behind your board. But at the moment, Benny, it's not the fastest. So it's reset all over again. And it's out they go. You're going to see all of the drivers trying to get in. Basically, they're going to have to put a banker lap in straight away. That's Stu Neal. He has just launched the car out, basically. He says, I'm off, I'm going, tick the box, see you later. Mikey Clough is going out as well. He's going to be out on track immediately to try, well, he's going to try and get out behind his buddy Stu. That's what he really needs to do. Fastest in practice 1. He's going to have to get a move on. Right. Here's the 2-3 drivers working together. So there's Kozlov, second fastest in practice. Don't forget, just ahead of him, that is Pavel, current championship leader. And in the 86, that is Alex. And if we ride from the rear camera here, you can see there is the championship leader currently right behind him. And behind that, that is Kozlov, 55 and 79. They'll be working together to get the maximum amount of slipstream that they can afford, but without hammering their old laps. Now, it's 13 minutes left of this qualifying session. At best, it's a 1:12 per lap if you don't hit traffic. You've got to get fuel on board. Every time you go back to the pits, it's reset all over again. All 29 drivers are on track. It is going to be an absolute huge amount of cars going all over the board. Right, in the front there, you can see Everett is also playing the same game. There is Everett. Right behind him is his teammate Stephen. He's going to be playing the same game. Poddy's out on his own, and there is the 34. So there is Neil. That's Neil slowing down at the moment. So he's trying to find Cloughy, who's a lot further back in the melee. He's just in that entire pack of cars as it stands at the moment. So Benny Norton's currently going through on the board. He is fastest, 32.975. He doesn't have a toe at the moment, but he is got a lot less ballast on board than everybody else. So he's going to try and extract the maximum performance out of those 4 wheels. He needs a good exit coming out of the penultimate corner, 55.219. Through that, he's a 22.244 in that sector. It's not going to be good enough. It is not going to be good enough for the qualifying pole position. He will go provisional pole because he will be the first true car across the track with a time. Crosses the line, provisional pole 113.424. Not good enough. Across the board now is 63. That is Lee Horn. He's starting his lap as it currently stands. Poddy, so Perkis is second, Kozlov is third, Flack is fourth. Kozlov is all the way down. He's gone down, actually. He's in third now because Perkis is in second. There is Janssen. There's Ola. We're going to call him Ola in the 55. He's going to be fighting the board. Benny Norton is on a flyer here. There's Benny Norton right behind Benny Norton. He's got the little Alpha. He's got an Alpha 55. That is Perkis right behind him. And behind Perkis, or in front of Perkis, is Poddy Flack. So as we ride on board now with Perkis, he's getting a lovely little tow from the cars in front. So he's the car at the back, and he's just lighting up the timing screens on this lap. Here comes the provisional lap. There's Benny Norton. He's peeled off. He's slingshotted Poddy through that section. There's Poddy. He's looking for a 6th or 7th position. Purple, sector 1, green, sector 2. Current at this rate, he will improve, but only to 4th or 5th. What can he do? Perkis should go faster. Perkis, a 1:12.889. Still not going to be good enough. Not going to be good enough. Improvement are coming across the board for Pavel. Fastest in sector 2 goes up to 2nd position, but he wasn't. Cloughy has just gone pole. There's accident, absolute carnage through that final corner. That's going to cost a lot of people a lot of time. Michael Cloughy, 1:12.786. Not going to be fast. Oh, there's cars all over the track. There's flags waving. What's he going to do? Here comes Craig Deakers. That compromised his lap. Does improve to 10th position. He goes. Right, Perkis is on a bit of a challenge here, 55. He's getting a lovely tow again from Poddy. There is Poddy. He is that car. He's that Astra. There is Perkis. Has Perkis backed off, or is he still keeping the RPMs on? No, he's backed off. He's backed off. Benny Norton's behind. You can see Everett and the lot of them are all just in the melee in the background. That's going to compromise it. Poddy Flack's on a bit of a flyer. He's 900ths of a second. 9,000ths of a second off pole position. The question is, can he improve? Can he put this on near enough? The front row, no! 0.2 of a second off, so he had a lovely helping hand, but not enough. Perkis is going fastest in that sector, but he is out. Where is Ward? Race 3 winner last time out in the number 7 Peugeot, one of the 2 Peugeots currently on the track. His buddy Rostance is going a bit faster. He should see an improvement to his time. 0.3 of a second. Yeah, he's gone a little bit faster, but nothing to set the world alight. Perkis is currently fastest in sector 1, 32.699. Poddy Flack's going faster. Norton's found a bit of speed. 0.1 of a second. Is this going to translate to anything, though? Through the wrong right-hander. Perkis has gone off the wall. He's got himself collected in that 25 Alfa Romeo, Benny Norton. He's all out on his own. You can see in the background, you've got the next-gen boys in the Hondas with Everett. Where is Everett? He's in the middle. He's down in 14th position, 0.4 of a second. That lap is abandoned. Everett is going a bit faster. He's had a lovely little helping hand from the next-gen racing boys in the 18 and 83 behind. Is that going to allow him to get a little bit more speed? He doesn't have maximum ballast on board, so this is a good opportunity for those championship points. Pushes him up. Where does he go? 3rd position, 0.1 of a second off. He wasn't fastest in any sector, funny enough. He was actually... No, he wasn't fastest, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. It's all about getting your tyres prepared. Rob South is on to a bit of a winner. There he is, coming as a privateer in the little Hyundai i30 number 5, 2nd car in the row. He's getting a lovely tow as well. What can he do? He gets himself up into 21st. Absolutely fantastic. Jamie Higgs, he's going to get himself up. Can he get himself up into the top 15, into the middle of the grid? No, he doesn't. 7 minutes remaining of this opening qualifying session, and it is all to play for. We don't know the fuel loads on board. Here we go. They are in the melee. This is what I was talking about before in that analysis piece. It's all about punching the hole, and the 86 of Alec is at the front of this, and he's punching the hole for Kozlov and Pavel. This is Kozlov. We're riding on board with him now. Through the last corner we go. Across the start, there's the 2 Crest racing boys of Everett and Stephen. Down to the start-finish straight. What can he do? He's purple sector 1. He's lost 0.5 of a second in sector 2. That's compromised him. That's what's cost him all that time. That's the problem. They're too busy helping each other now. Right, Anastasios, he was quick in a practice session. He's 0.6 of a second off, down in 20th position. We are looking at the current moment. Has he set the timing boards alight? Not really. 33.334. He is all over that board, and he's 0.7 of a second off, so he improves, but not enough to really set the timing screens alight. Kozlov is on for a little of an improvement, but again, he's losing out in sector 3. He's had a bump. That's the problem. That 79 of Kozlov is right behind the other two, and they're just working together nose to tail like a train. Cloughy is a 112.786. Perkins is 1/10 of a second behind. Everett a 198. What we're looking in sector 2, 3/10 of a second. 3/10 of a second to get that. Absolutely magnetic through the right hand of the last corner we go. Kozlov is on for provisional pole position here. He slingshots himself out to the start-finish straight. Pav has peeled off. They've both peeled off. What can he do? Has he done it? No. No, he hasn't. He was on for a winner. He must have had a lap invalidated. The last lap was invalidated. The last lap was invalidated. Has that cost him with 5 minutes 49 to go? He's still in the pits as it stands. So it's cost him. It's properly cost him some time. Pavel is still out at the moment, but he hasn't got his buddy with him. There is Alec in the 86. They're trying to find some space. They're being very, very clever. They need to be. There's one of the Clough boys. That is Michael Clough. And he's got Paul Hans right behind him in that bright yellow DHL Audi. You can't miss. And right behind that, there's Fraser Rostance. Absolutely found some speed last time out at Brands Hatch. But this time out, he hasn't really set the timing board to light. Yes, he's fastest through that sector. The Honda is mighty quick in a straight line, but it's just lacking that lateral grip pace, and he's run wide out of there. That will be lap invalidated. He's going to do nothing from there unless they've properly reset the game. And there is the 34 of Stu Neal. Little Neely gets in the way of him, but those two are going to be helping each other out. Yes, they are. So Paul Hans was on a bit of a flyer there, but he hasn't really done anything. What's Jamie Dory doing? Jamie Dory's had some outright pace, but he's down in 15th. He was a he was a top 10 contender, almost top 5 contender last time when we were playing last season, but he's just not really found that speed this time. So yeah, it's going to be very, very tricky, I think, to see what they can do from this position. With less than 4 minutes remaining now on the board, unless they're out on track, they're really not going to be getting anything on the board. A bit further down the field, you have Kirby's in 20th, you've got Higgins in 21st, South is 22nd. He did get higher than that, but he's gone down. Plummer's 23rd, Lopez is 24th, Campion is 25th, Neil is 26th, that's Derek Neil. Carl Smith is 27th, and right at the back, there he is, bringing home the car is Tim Johnson in 28th. A little bit of sim glitching going on there, but he's down there in 28th. 12 seconds off. I just don't think he set himself a competitive time yet. He's just getting used to the car. Right, what's Rostance doing? Well, he's gone purple sector 1 and he's 5/10 off in sector 2. And he's getting a lovely tow from this lot. And that's the problem with pretty much a 30-car field. They're all getting a lovely tow off each other. Puts himself into 6th. It's only good enough for 6th position now. So at the moment, Clough is the unsung, basically, king of the hill, as it stands at the moment. I mean, Benny Morrison's going faster again. 1/10, 1/10. Is he really setting board that light? He's kind of in the middle. Yeah, he's losing time in that final sector. And Benny Norton's down 12th. So he's a 32.7, so he's faster than anybody in that sector. A 32.7. Yeah, and his last lap and his best lap's a 32.7, 22.163. And Kozlov has just gone faster in sector 1. He's gone blue in sector 1 as provisional fastest driver in that sector. Benny Norton has just, Lee Horn has just gone faster by 3/10 of a second. So it is on with the last 2 minutes remaining of this session. If they're not on a lap now, they're not going to get it. So it's all to play for. That's it. That lap is abandoned. We need to now go to Lee Horn. What's he going to do? So he's got Horn. He's in the 63. Behind that, you have got Alex Everett. And then behind that, you have Lee Horn's teammate, which is Jamie Dory. He's in the number 18 Honda. Can they do anything from here? He's only got 16/10 up in that second. Benny Norton's found speed in that second sector. He does improve. but he gets himself. So Jamie Dorey goes to 16th, Lee Horn was 11th, and now he's back to 12th. What can Neil do? So Neil is currently, he is being slipstreamed by his mate, who is Michael Clough. Michael Clough's in the forward 34 and Neil is in the back 34, both with a little Renault Megane, and they are helping each other out. You can see Hans and Fraser ahead as well. They are helping each other out with the slipstreaming. It is important for qualifying because with a 30-car field, it is all about getting points on the board. The only driver currently not to set a lap time is Boki, and he's down in 30th position. And do remember that top 10 get reversed for race 2, and ballast for race 2 is off race 1's finishing positions, qualifying positions. Can he go any faster? He does improve. Stu Neal gets himself into 6th position, but that is it. It's going to be no further forward. Kozlov is on another flyer, 32.508. He's the only driver in the 32.508. Can he cross the line? Does he get it? No! No, he doesn't. He gets 3rd. He knocks his mate Pavel down to 4th, and Everett's down to 6th in front of Neil. So that is it. That is confirmation of your provisional qualifying results. You have got Michael Clough has taken 1st position, followed by Alex Everett. Why is Alex Everett 2nd? Alex Everett has set a flying lap when I didn't even see it to go into 2nd. Perkis is 3rd. Kozlov is now down to 4th. Pavel is 5th. Poddy is 6th. Neil is 7th. Rostance is 8th. Alex is 9th. Norton, Ian, Jamie, Russ, Lee, Anastasios, Ola, Paul, Hans, Craig, Stephen, Alex, Martin, Kirby, Higgins, South, Plummer, Campion, Lopez, Neil, Smith and Johnson. And the only driver not to set a time was Boki, and he will start 30th position. But it's key to note here that they will have, it will mean that they are going to have a lot of ballast on board that car for the 2nd race. So Alex is going to be carrying the 45 kilograms on board that Astra for races 2 and 3. And that is going to be very vital, especially with the challenging field that we've got. Cloughy was 1/10 of a second ahead, but Cloughy didn't have his buddy with him. So it's going to be very, very tricky, I think. It's going to be an exciting first race coming up. If you're new to this, welcome to the WTCC, which is the World Touring Car Challenge, hosted by Crest Autosport. I am your commentator. That is me, Andy Pawley. I still have less hair than that now, but it is what it is. What we've seen a lot of tonight, it's all about that drafting. That's what's really, really pushed the cars into where they needed to be. Alex Everett is light on ballast. This is a good opportunity for him to take the 1st win of the season for him, because he needs to keep his championship alive here. It's only the 2nd week out on race 4. 1st race of the evening, 4th race of the season. So it's going to be very, very tricky on what they're going to do here. Let's just put it on auto direct and let it figure itself out. There is where we're racing at Crest Autosport WTCC. It's the Watkins Glen's International Short Circuit. It's the first time we've raced here as it currently stands, so there are no previous race winners. So who is going to take the crown of the first race winner? The top 10 are all stupidly tightly knit, packed together. So that's going to be key. There's going to be a lot of team playing defensive going on as well, which is going to make it very, very tricky. Sergio, good evening. Nice to see you back on stream again. You've got yourself set up for a nail-biter of a race. If you've not watched the qualifying, go back and re-watch it. It is absolutely magnetic on what has happened. But we were talking about this before, which is all about the slipstream. So if you're new to this type of racing and you're thinking, Andy, what is this slipstream that he's talking about? Well, the slipstream is what can make or break your race, basically. So it's all about how much more speed you can carry. Now, did I pick up the right video here? No, I didn't. And already we're having technical difficulties. So it's all about how much speed they can actually pick up through that final, basically from their friends, to do with drafting. And that's what's going to be vital here. It's going to be really, really vital that they can actually manage that together, and they can do that. No, this was just and this is what we're talking about here. So if you're new to this type of racing and you're thinking, well, what is this slipstreaming stuff? Basically, what happens is the car in the front punches the hole for the cars behind. So the 86, which is here, that is Alec, and he is punching the hole in the air for these two cars behind, which is Pavel and Kozlov. And he is taking, and those two are gaining extra speed because the air that is being pushed into the front of the car here is being pushed, I'm going to get the right button here, is the draw handle, is being pushed over that group of cars. And as a result, the turbulent air doesn't slow the two cars behind down. And as a result, what happens is the car ahead, they basically gain more time because they gain more speed. And as a result, you can gain extra lap time. And that's what's going to be vital. That's what's going to be absolutely key to tonight's victories, because the driver at the front, which is going to be Michael Clough, is going to be punching a massive hole for the rest of the field. It is what it is, and sometimes, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Also, Cloughy will now have 50 kilograms on board for races 2 and 3. We've got 32 seconds left before we go into race 1. Sergey saying, I was watching Kozlov on board. Fantastic. So we do have some drivers that do stream live. I did not know that Kozlov was streamed live. If you could please put his stream in the Discord chat, and if you've not seen us on Discord, we are on Discord, that would be amazing, because what we will be bringing to you later in the season is the red button function. So you can actually go and watch the drivers in our race on board their own streams. And it's a function that we're going to be bringing later in the season. We're just working on the analysis feature at the moment. So yeah, that is brilliant. So if you do want to hop over, if Sergey, sorry if I got your name wrong, can put it in our Discord, just go onto our Discord, the link is below, and yeah, go and watch it. But if you want to come and watch us in the main stream, please do. Another one that does that as well is Rosa, is Rostance. He also streams live, and Scooby Sims, he also does it as well. That's Jeff Perkis. There isn't Alex Everett is not streaming tonight, if you're wondering why he's not on Twitch, but that's how it stacks up. Right, we're going to go across to the first race. It is 15 minutes. Positions are off the qualifying results. Ballast is championship ballast. It is a 15-minute race. It is 30 cars, and it's all to play for. Who is going to be victorious into turn 1? Who is going to be the one that will take it? How are we going to do it? Watch the lights at the top left. When they go green, it's lights out. Hold on to it. It's away we go. Who has had a fantastic start? Alex Everett has gone defensive immediately off the line. He's got Perkis all over his rear end. Cloughy has not had a good start off the line, and as a result, he is now side by side with Everett. Everett is going to be in the lead going into turn 1. Does he hold on to it? Pavel down in the 55 is further back, but in the middle of the field, they are all trying to hustle and bustle their way into the number 1. Everett's taken the lead as it currently stands, but look at Dory, he's all over the rear end there. He's got Butcher right behind him and Horn, but at the front, Cloughy is trying to go up the inside of Alex. It'll be the outside going into this corner. It's not going to work. They're going to be all over each other. Perkis in the 55. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between the two drivers. Has he managed to hold on to it just enough? Does Perkis manage to get his way through? Yes, he does. Absolutely sensational stuff. In the background, they're still all holding on to each other. In the background there, Stephen's gone wild, but has he held on to it just enough? Magnetic down through the first corner we go. Down the gearbox into third through the right-hander. Keeps it nice and tidy. There's Stephen. He is on the left side. There he is. Right behind that, and ahead of that, there is Paul Hans. But Perkis at the moment, Kozlov, he's just lost everybody on the board. He's on his own. There it is. It's reset itself. Wow, Alex Everett fastest lap, currently leading by 0.2 of a second, but Cloughy hasn't let it down. Butcher slowdown penalty. In the background there, Benny Norton is the cork in the massive bottle. There is Norton, there is Rostans, but Clough is once again attacking, riding from the rear camera. This is first place, there is second, that is Everett. This is Cloughy, Renault versus Astra. Behind that you've got Perkis, and you can see Kozlov and Flack going head to tail as well, wheel to wheel through the side action. There is Neil. He has managed to get past the back of Benny Norton, so they're still holding each other up. Can he do anything from here? But look at Kostrov in the car behind. There he is. He's in the 86. He was helping his mates out in second and third, but he hasn't done it. Right, Cloughy has gone up the inside of Everett. Has he done it? No, he hasn't. They're still battling each other. He's going to have to close that door solidly shut. Does he get it done? Just enough. Closes the door, bounces across the curb, but will he have enough pace in that Renault Megane to get away? And look at Perkis, fastest lap for Perkis. Benny Norton's on the outside of Rostans. Does he get past Neil? No, he doesn't. Neil's in the 34, that black Renault Megane on the right side. That is Benny Norton, Astra versus Renault. It is two European manufacturers, and Benny Norton absolutely stows it up the inside, ticks the box, but look who's lurking in the background. That's Rostans. He's going, I'm coming, and he is. He's going to knock them out the park. The question is he going to make the overtake? He's not going to go up the inside. That's just not going to work. He's really going to have to think about that. At the front, Everett is side by side again with Cloughy. But look at Perkis in the 55. He is the 1-2-3rd car in the road. Riding on board now with Perkis. He's attacking the man ahead. That is Alex Everett in second position. And he's defending from Kozlov in fourth. He's attacking and defending. He's going to have to be careful going into the penultimate corner. He doesn't want to run wide here because Kozlov will just run wide. He's done exactly what I said he shouldn't be doing, and Kozlov has managed to go up the inside. He'll get a little bit of a wall bang there. Was it enough to push him out? No, it's reset all over again. Kirby and Smith in the background. This is the battle for 24th, 25th and 26th. Cloughy, new fastest lap, 112.814. These two are battling each other out. I am keeping an eye on the opening 10 as well, but these three have been nose to tail. Martin Kirby, he's in the 99. The 25, that is Boki. And just ahead of that, does he get it done? Yes, he does. Boki gets himself done. Carl Smith has run wide. And he's checked himself out, and I think that is job done. He'll tick it out and he'll keep going. But Boki, I am surprised by Boki. Boki has much more speed than this. He was top 10 driver last season out, but he's not there. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the battle with in the middle. Oh, that slide by Neil. He's in the 19. He's in the 34. He's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom! There. Look at Rostans, Peugeot, Motul, number white car. But that's opened the door for Jamie Dory, who's got Lee Horn right behind him. Does he think anything of it? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Whoa! It nearly makes contact. Magnetic. Holds onto it just enough. 10 minutes to go through the right-hander, last corner. 10 minutes remaining, and it's all to play for. Tyre wear, tyre degradation will now come into consideration as it happens. And there you can see Podiflax in the middle of the pack. He's trying to hold on to something here. He's trying to do something. Right, we leave that because Boki is making a charge here. There's Boki. He's in the 25. Rob South, he's in the number 5. Car on the left, that is a Hyundai, and he's going to go around the outside. Boki just goes, yep, thank you very much, ticks the box, gets the car done. He should get the drive now. He should get enough drive. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. Right, Stu Neal, riding from the rear camera of Stu Neal. He's in 8th. There is 9th, 10th and 11th. And that's what I was talking about, the slipstream. You can see there, Jamie Dory has got the overrun on Rostans. Has he got the overrun done on Stu Neal? That's what's going to be very careful. Oh, they're still side by side. It is Jamie Dory right side, the number 18 Honda, Rostans in the number 7 little Peugeot. It's the white car. Does he get it done? Is he going to be able to hold it up? They're side by side. He has to be a job ahead. Is there contact? No. They squeeze, reset all over again. 8 minutes 56 to go. Absolutely magnetic at the middle of the field, and this is the battle for 10th. This is important because it is a reverse grid, so 10th is important. Rostans is going out for the flying inside there of Stu Neal, but Stu Neal's going, nah, not going to happen. The problem is now Stu Neal's run wide. Stu Neal's run wide. How many cars go past? Rostance has passed. He's shut the door solidly. I think he must be struggling with his tyres. But Pavel is on the back of Poddy Flak, as this is the battle for 5th position. There is Poddy riding on board now with Pavel. He is in 6th position, championship leader, don't forget. Right ahead of that is Poddy. Poddy is not a championship leader, but he is top 5, so he wants the points. Through the right sander he goes. Poddy has just run himself wide. He's going to check himself out, and he tries to go for the old cut back, and it's just not going to work. Absolutely fantastic move there from Pavel. Real forward thinking, ticks the box, checks himself out. He's now right behind his teammate, which is the number 79 of Kozlov. The question is, well, in the background they're all running wide. Stu Neal suffering in that car. He is the roadblock at the moment. He's in the 34. Paul Hans has had contact between Paul Hans. Has he kept it on the road? Just enough. Absolutely sensational stuff. Alex Everett has gone fastest, 1:12.744. There is Paul Hans. But look at the front. There is Alex. He's just not really progressed any further. He's not really made any forward movement from that position. I think he compromised his own, basically his own race to help his mates out. And now he's down in 13th. He needs to get a shifty on if he wants to get up to 10th position, because that is the reverse grid. So he needs to do that. There is Paul Hans in the bright yellow DHL Audi. Right, Benny Norton and Poddy Flak are side by side. These two are going to have their teammates, these two. So Poddy is suffering, so they need to basically do the old switcheroo if they want to go anywhere. Stu Neal is back behind his old mate, which is Russ Butcher. These two I've seen race in previous sessions. They didn't always get on. It was a bit like Matt Neal and Jason Plato. So I'm sure there's going to be no love lost between those two in the background. Paul Hans has run wide again through that second to last corner, and that's cost him as well. But yeah, Jeff Purkis is on the move. So the man on the move at the moment is Purkis. Benny Norton and Flack down in 6th and 7th just need to swap over positions and get a move on, basically. Craig Deeks on the back of Hans. Boki is now on the back of Gabriel Lopez. There is Lopez, he's in the 28th. I am keeping an eye on the board as it unfolds, but at the moment, Boki's down in 22nd. Alex has retired, Derek Neal has retired, and Ian Deeney has retired. That surprised me. Deeney is fast as well. I would expect more of him later in the season. Jeff Purkis is right on the back. He's on the 55. There's the two teammates. They finally swapped positions, and Benny Norton and Flack have finally swapped positions. That needed to happen because Flack was holding up Norton. That's been done. Now they can go after Pavel. But Cloughy's saving Glace, who's currently leading, is going to be Purkis. Riding on Purkis now, and you can see from the rear camera, this is Alex Everett. Just ahead of that is Purkis, and Purkis in that 55 is just gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining. He's setting those timing screens alight at Watkins Glen on the short circuit tonight with 5 minutes remaining. The question is his tyres going to hold off? Alex Everett has then gone on, do you know what, I'm going to go faster. Clough is going to be, he's going to be really, really suffering with the tyres and the ballast as well. Do not forget that 34 is carrying a lot of, it's going to have ballast on board, so it's kind of tough. But Clough just gets a much better exit coming out of turns 3 and 4, going through the S's, and that's where he gets a much better drive. Now look at Norton. This is what I was saying. Norton, Poddy needed to have done that at least a lap before. So he's not going to have the opportunity at the front. Everett is going to try to go around the side of Cloughy. They're going to have to give each other room. Ooh, he's giving him a squeeze on the apex, but he's left just enough room. And that's actually compromised Everett. He should have been a bit smarter with that manoeuvre. Left a bit more room and he would have got it done, because Clough, that 34, just didn't have the drive coming out the corner. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, you either do it or you don't. And this time Everett has to reset, compose himself, and re-go again. Everett is the car in the middle. He is the car. He is the Astra 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Right. Kozlov riding on board now with Kozlov. There is Benny Norton. He is the car second. Behind us is Pavel. He's an esports. Whoa, he's made contact. Pavel made contact with his teammate, and that's what cost him the position. Has that pushed him wide? Has that allowed Benny Norton to go up the inside? No, it hasn't. It's reset all over again. Oh, it's getting very, very tense at the front end of the grid. Who is going to be victorious? 3 minutes 30 remaining, but the battles are all raging through. Lee Horn and Jamie Dory are being blocked by Rostance, and again, this is the bump draft. They bump draft Fraser up the top of the hill. Has he managed to do it? Benny Norton is going to attempt to go up the inside of Pavel. He's just not going to do it through there. That's going to be a very risky manoeuvre. Pavel's run wide. He's left the door open. A little bit of a twitch there from Benny Norton. Benny Norton is the 1-2 third car. That one, the endless car. It's the Astra with the black roof. His teammates right behind him. It is two manufacturers, two different nationalities, 4 different locations, all trying to find out. We don't know the fuel loads. We do not know the tyres. Did they put enough fuel in? They've been on it. Lap 1 all the way to the end. Cloughy's extended his lead at the front. Right, Alex Ward is on the back of Paul Hans. This is 10th, 14th and 15th. Ola Janssen in that 55. He's just ahead as well, and Russ Butcher's kind of on his own at the moment. It is all to play for. There's Alex Ward. He is the second car in the row. There he is. He's number 7. He will be trying to get the maximum he can because he's in 15th. I don't think he's going to get to 10th, but his teammate Rostance is down in 10th position. That will be pole for race 2, so he wants to get a good position. Right, Perkins is on the back of Everett. These three are locked to tail. Whoa, Everett's trying to sell Cloughy a dummy there. Did Cloughy fall for it? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He fell for the dummy. He's left the door wide open. Everett's going to have to get a much better drive going out of that corner, but that Renault Megane has just got the overdrive out of the corners, and that's just kept him ahead. It's a 1:46 and they're lapping in 1:12. It's going to be 2 laps including the next one. Can he do it? Can he hold on for his first win of the season in season 8? It's all to play for. Pavel is now on the back of Kozlov. Kozlov is dragging Pavel along. That's what's now happening. So that 79 car ahead is dragging the 55 car behind. That's what they're doing. The same as the 18 of Jamie Dory and Lee Horn. They are all dragging each other along at the front end of the grid. Right, Tim Johnson has gone Carl Smith. There's Tim Johnson in the 31. Can he get round Carl Smith in the 25? There's Bill Campion right at the back in the 96. Seen him race over the years. He's a quality racer. He's just getting used to the fierce action of race room, but he's getting there slowly but slowly. Right, Perkis is back on the rear end. They're all nose to tail. There's 3 groups of cars all going for it together. We'll keep an eye on what Perkis could be the saving grace here. Perkis in that 55, 3 different manufacturers, 3 different parts of the country, 3 different people. Are they going to all come out victorious? It could only be one race winner. Right, Pavel. Yeah, he's lost it. He's lost out to both of them. Kozlov should have let him past. He should have let him past on the last lap. And because Pavel is the one going for the championship, they're going to have to decide early on. Now, Benny Norton should mug Kozlov. He's gone for the old switcheroo. He's going to get the overdrive, and this should be job done, providing nothing goes wrong. But Kozlov just doesn't have ballast on board. But Benny Norton's going to stick it up the inside. There'll be a little bit of contact through that corner. There's the contact, nothing untoward. The question is, Kozlov just has to keep it. He's in the 79, just has to keep his foot planted. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. That was very, very close together, and that's pushed Benny Norton all the way to the back. How far does that go back? Well, he's gone nearly as enough to the back of the grid, but the race is over, so it's all to play for. Can Poddy Flat go past Kozlov? Kozlov is defending for all he's worth. He's doing the teammate job. He's doing everything he can do. In the background, the 2 Next Gen Racing boys are trying to help each other out. Poddy just has to hang it round the outside to get the inside corner. A little bit of contact. There's 1 car width left between the 2 of them. Can they do it? Who is going to be victorious? Poddy's trying to get across to get a much better exit. He's got to leave 1 car's width. That's the ruling. He's left 1 car's width. Kozlov in the background's gone off. Is Kozlov going to take it? No. Yes. No. It's all going to be a run for the line. Who's going to do it? Who is going to take it? It's Kozlov. Kozlov will hold on to the position. Michael Clough wins the race. Kozlov takes the position. Absolutely magnetic. Poddy is in 5th. Pavel holds on to 6th. Norton is in 7th, but he's going to be in the win. Alex Ward down the back, and in the back I think Rob Smith has gone off. There is Tim Johnson in 26th position. I mean, he's missing a lot of the car, but I've seen worse MOT'd. What can he do from here? Not a lot. He's just got to bring the car home. Tim Johnson's just got to bring the car home, and he will get himself a lovely bit of points in the CA3 category. That's all he's got to do. There's Carl Smith, Bill Campion just ahead. Absolutely fantastic. There is your classification. So Michael Clough is first. All results are provisional, as I always say. So Cloughy followed by Everett Perkis. Followed by Kozlov, and that was such a dramatic end to the race. Kozlov is in 4th, 5th is Poddy, Pavel is 6th, Norton is 7th, Dory is 8th, Horn is 9th, Rostance is 10th, Butcher is 11th, Neil is 12th, Ola is in 13th, didn't really cover Ola, to be honest. Paul Hanser's in 14th, Craig Deek just kind of had a race on his own. Same as Stephen, they're kind of just in the midfield at the moment. Alex and Roy Plummer again. Anastasios, he had lots of pace in practice. It didn't really materialise in the race. Jamie Higgs on his own, really. Bo Key started in 30th, got up to 21st, so he's made progress. Kirby's a good result in 22nd. Lopez 23rd, Campion is 24th, Smith is 25th, Johnson is 26th, South is 27th, and then Alec is... I think he sacrificed his own race, unfortunately. That could be different. Neil and Deeney. Deeney surprises me on a DNF, if I'm honest. Deeney surprises with me a DNF. Welcome back to the commentary box. The camera actually now works, which is really, really good. Yep, my blind is still here. So for those of you that have followed me over the years, the blind is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere, which is good. Right, so the server's now going to reset and go into... basically it's going to reset itself and then we will log in, but we're going to have a look at some of the onboards, some of the replays that we managed to catch and see what we've got here. And where do we start? Let's start with the last one. So this is the last section of corners that we were talking about, basically, where we've got the three of them all battling together. And this was the Paul Hans incident. So Paul Hans is the DHL Audi, DHL Honda, and he basically loses the rear end ever so slightly. But again, I don't think there was anything in that. I think it was just a nothing event. So if you watch the DHL Audi, the DHL car, the bright yellow one, I think he just had an accident all by himself. Yeah, he's gone in too deep. Yeah, so there's the contact between the two cars. He wasn't far enough ahead. It's kind of a nothing accident, really. And then he goes into Horn, and then they basically both, as he makes the contact on that corner, Hans goes that way, basically. The car doesn't get damaged, and he manages to slot himself back in. So there was nothing really on that one, to be honest. It was just kind of one of those incidents. That's the way I would read that, as it is. And this, I think, is the overtake. So the actual overtake to this starts on the penultimate corner. So Benny Norton, which is the endless car here, is chasing Kozlov. Now, Kozlov did finish ahead of Benny Norton in the end. And he gets a good run here. So as he gets a good run out of the corner, he's managed to get the overlap, which means he will get the inside corner going into the next corner. Going into the first corner, that's where the arrow is going. So if we just speed it along ahead, the problem is Benny Norton is now carrying ballast. So when we get to the corner, which is here, you can see that Kozlov is actually ahead of Benny Norton. That's not working properly. Is actually ahead of Benny Norton. There's the line of where the cars are. But the key here is it's all to do with where the rear car is. Now, Kozlov can see that he's there. He hasn't crowded him out, which is important, but he's left enough space. But it's just too much space that Benny Norton at this point is now going to make the corner for the apex, and Kozlov has to then straighten up and take a different line. And as a result, Benny Norton then manages to get the overlap, which is what we've got coming up here. He goes into the corner. They give each other just enough room. There's a little bit of a contact here from this image. It could not be. It could just be the way that it's happened. They go through the corner, and that's it. And we all know what's happened after that. They can then go up to the top of the hill, and they both try and get their way out. But as it stands at the moment, there's nothing really to mix the two up. They are absolutely nose to tail between those two. Now, it's all very, very important because it's all going to decide where they all finish. Hopefully, I've got the right password. I do have the right password. So it's very, very tricky, I think, at the moment. It's all getting very, very nose to taily, I think is what it is. And they're all getting slipstreams off each other. And now the problem that they're having, or which we'll see, now the problem that's going on is it's all coming up to the corner that's at the top of the hill. And that's what's causing a lot of the issue. So this is the corner at the top of the hill. So this is how Cloughy effectively keeps winning, because he's very clever with his car position. So Clough is in the number 34, which is that car there. And what you'll see is as he approaches the apex, so Alex is making the turn earlier. So there's Alex. He is in the Alfa Romeo. He's actually approaching the corner from a wider angle because he's hoping to go into the apex earlier. But watch Cloughy. He makes the turn later to put the car on the apex. So they're going to end up in an accident. So Alex's only option at that point, at this point here, he actually straightens the wheel ever so slightly, and that scrubs speed. Now, what it also does, which is what Perkis basically kept Alex Everett, and I believe actually cost Alex Everett the victory this time, it allowed Perkis to go into the door here and constantly push Alex into that, basically pushing wide. And Alex is having to leave, as you see here, there's enough room here for a car because he's fearful that Perkis is going to go into the late break and just go into that gap. By which point, as you can see here, Cloughy has already gained enough gap, effectively half a car's width gap, and that's what kept him in the lead. So he's being very, very clever. Now, there was a couple of incidents I don't think we actually got where he did what we did run wide. But it's all very tricky. It's all very tricky on what they're going to do. They're going to have to really think about where they're going to place the car, about how they're going to where they're going to put the car. There's nobody in the commentary booth at the moment. So it's going to be very, very tricky, I think. It's going to be very exciting. They're going to have to really think ahead on what they're going to do. Now, for race 2, so if you're new to the stream, hello and welcome. We're going to go for the reset. We are currently racing. I have to use the other one because it's broken. We're currently racing at the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Championship. It's at the top left there. This is race round 2. We are on race 5. It's always sunny in race room. It's never raining. And it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm your commentator, and I'm here for the next, probably about the next hour. Time now is, for about the next hour. So, race 2. We don't have the graphic, unfortunately, for race 2. So, race 2 is a reverse grid of race 1. So, in first position will be Fraser Rostance. It's a good opportunity here for Fraser to get a race win. Same as Dory and Lee Horn. They are next-gen boys. They are race winners. They know how to drive those cars, and that Honda is absolutely magnetic. Then you've got Jamie Dory and Benny Norton. Benny Norton is on for a race victory here. Pavel is in 6th. He just needs to recover. He was carrying 50 kilograms on board. He qualified 3rd. Someone might correct me here. So he's still got ballast on board that car, so that's going to really hurt him. Flack, I don't think, can do anything. Kozlov is in a good opportunity here. So is Perkis. But the problem Kozlov has is that he helped his teammates out. So I'm not sure, maybe Sergey can come on board. He's saying, as you said, I made links to Kozlov and local streams to Crest Autosport Discord. Cool, thank you very much. We will be bringing you a feature later in the season. We're just working on the analytics tool at the moment. We will bring you a feature later in the season that will allow you to basically go and find all these onboards, and we will be looking to bring the onboards into stream as well to give it that extra panache. I think that's the word, panache. We'll go for panache is the word. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. Who do I put my 50p on? Lee Horn. I'm putting my 50p on Lee Horn for race 2 victory. And the reason I'm going to put it on Lee Horn is because he's mighty fast. Now, if Butcher had been there, because Butcher's down in 11th at the moment, and he's got his old mate Stu Neal behind him, so if Butcher was in pole position, I'd put him there. If Neal was in first, I'd put Neal for race winner. But as it stands at the moment, I don't think Ross Dance has got the power in that number 7 Peugeot. I just don't think he's got that ability at the moment. Those Hondas just seem to be mighty fast here. So if Lee and Jamie Dorey can work together and block off Benny Norton, I think Lee Horn will take the victory for race 2. Is the way that I read that, but I could be wrong. I often am wrong. In the way that I do things, there's nobody in the commentary box as it stands at the moment. But yeah, it's just very, very tricky as it stands at the moment. Right, let's go back over to the analytic tool and let's have a look at this race start while we've got a minute remaining. So this has been the Achilles heel so far of Michael Clough and his cars. He's losing on average 1 to 2 positions. We saw it at Brands Hatch when he was racing Pavel. And if you watch the race start, we'll slow it down here. So keep your eye on this car here. This is Michael Clough, currently carrying the maximum ballast. And if you watch it when he starts, so the lights will go green, we'll go forward a bit to the lights, we go on board to here. And when the lights actually go green, you'll watch Alex Everett. So Alex Everett will come directly across. So Alex Everett will come across because he's trying to block off trying to block off Michael Clough. But Perkis, who is behind this, I can't change the colour, but Perkis is behind it. Perkis actually prevents that manoeuvre because he will drive. Oh, I can actually change the colour. So let's go to yellow. So he will drive the car forward, and that prevents Everett from coming. And behind that is Perkis, and Perkis is going to follow him in the same position. And that's the only reason that prevented Everett from getting it. They're currently on the warm-up. So when the lights go green, we'll go forward a bit. Here we go. So he goes forward, and Everett goes immediately across, following the line that I'd put out. Cloughy's going to go down here because Everett is trying to get there as quickly as possible. But what Everett should have done, which is what Pavel and Kozlov did, is they went directly straight, pretty much, as the crow flies. And that allows them to basically get a much better start, and alongside Perkis on that slow phase. And I think that compromised Everett. So Everett just needs to point the car in a straightforward direction, and I think he'll actually go a lot faster. But again, that's how we read it, and that's how I see it. Doesn't necessarily mean that that is right. It just means that that's how I read it. We'll just reset that all over again. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race 2. There's nobody in the commentary box. So we are going to go across to race 2 now. I am your commentator. That's me, Andy Pawley. We are at the Watkins Glen South Short Circuit. There are 30 drivers currently in there. It is now a reverse grid of the finishing positions of race 1. So Ross Dance is on pole. Second is Jamie Dorey. Jamie Dorey just needs to drive the car in a straight line. Does not need to do heroics. Lee Horn does. And Jamie Dorey just needs to prevent Benny Norton from coming through. Here we go. Hold on to your horses. It is going to be all guns blazing for race 2, and it's lights out, and away we go. Absolutely sensational start there from Rostance. He's done what he's done, and look, there is Benny Norton. Here's that car there. He has got upside the inside of, oh, there's contact between the two drivers as they're all trying to sort themselves out. One of them's going to have to yield going into turn 2. Can they do it through the S's? No, yes, no. Oh, it's very close. Bum squeaky time, hold on to it. Perkis has made great progress. He's got past Kozlov's down to 8th. Cloughy's already lost a position into 11th. It is game on all over again. But Butcher is now up to 10th. He's behind Everett. Watch out for Butcher. He's going to be a mover and a shaker. There is Perkis. Perkis has to clear Pavel quickly. He's not going to do that round the outside. He's just going to lose time and speed. Poddy is on the left side, but Fraser has got Rostance has got away at the front. There is Perkis. He is side by side with Kozlov. Kozlov just pipped Benny Norton to the position in the last race. He's got to clear him. He's got to get it done. Ooh, he goes a little bit wide there. He's allowed him to come back on. There's contact. There's contact between the two drivers. A little bit of an understanding. We did get that. We'll look at it post-race. But that has allowed, that whole melee has allowed Rostance to get away. There is Everett. Everett has now passed Kozlov. So he's making progress. Cloughy's back in 11th. Craig Deek is on the back of this entire melee. He's joining the party. There's Boki. So Boki is in the number 25. Alfa Romeo. He's right behind that bright yellow car of Roy Plummer. We're riding on board now with Plummer. Right behind that, there is Boki. Behind that, Alex Ward. He is out of position. He really needs to get a shifty on here. Riding on board now with Alex. Is he going to do it? Lee Horn and Rostance. They're close, so close together you could read the number plate of the car ahead. There he is. Pop, 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 pop. That is the bright yellow, the white car of the leader, which is first place man, number 7. Rostance behind that is Dory, Horn, then Dory. It is Peugeot, Honda, Opel. And then there's Pavel. Pavel's making progress, but he needs to go faster. What happened to Everett? We missed that, but Everett has gone all the way down to 14th. In that's not good, because that's really going to hamper Everett. Should pass Ola. Ola's in the 55, gets the job done. He says thank you very much. Paul Hans is now his next target. Right, Jamie Dory and Lee Horn, these two need to stop fighting each other and get a move on, because Jamie Dory, they're just allowing Benny Norton to creep up. Now Poddyflak in the car behind, riding on board now with Pavel in 6th position. The head of that is Poddyflak in the Opel Astra. He is the blocker in this. He's doing all the work. He's stopping Pavel progressing. Alex Ward and Boki are side by side. They're all close together. There's Benny Norton. He's going to go up the inside of the 63. Oh, it's sim twitching. They're sim twitching. Poddyflak, you can't go around the outside. That's a very dangerous move. Pavel is going to go up the inside of the lot of them. Is there contact? No, there isn't. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Poddyflak has mugged the lot of them. Absolutely sensational stuff. Magnetic as he keeps going. Is he going to do anything? Is he going to be able to hold on to anything? No, it's reset all over again. Right in the background, the melee is all going on. There is Ola. He's in the 55. He has got Alex Everett just ahead of him, and Steve, which is teammates to Alex Everett, all over his rear end. What can he do? Cloughy's up to 9th. Keep an eye on that. Jamie Dory is the roadblocker here between the lot of them. Pavel is stuck in 6th and not making progress, so he needs to get a Sharpie on. There is Paul Hans. He's bright yellow, DHL Audi. I always say the Audi is a bright yellow other car. He's in the number 9. Roy Plummer is on the back of Stephen in the background. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. But Pavel and Norton are nose to tail as they go over the hill. There's Rostance, who now has Dory all over his rear end for company. But Pavel is being blocked by Norton. Not intentionally, he's just being blocked. There it's on. This is the switch for the lead. The two teammates are working together, but Rostance is going to try and swap in. Is going to go for it. Jamie Dory is not leading. Lee Horn is leading. These two both for the next gen. Are we going to see another different race winner this time out? Absolutely sensational. Now these two, first and second, need to work together. Right, Craig Deeks and Paul Hans are side by side. This is 11th and 12th. 11th is the yellow car, the 96 Cupra, that green one. That is Craig Deeks. Does he get it done? Oh, there's contact between the two. He gets his squeezy on and gets the squeeged out, holds on to it. There's the 34 of Michael Clough. He needs to go faster because he's not doing enough, but I think he's just playing the tactical game now. He knows he can't go faster, so he's just holding on to it as he all goes. In the background, there's Paul Hans. He's trying to go around the outside, on the inside of Craig Deek. Does he get it done? A little bit of a contact between them both. And he resets all over again. Boki's on the move again, and in the background, Derek Neal and Ian Deeney. Ian Deeney's in the number 28. He's all over that rear end. Right, back to the lead battle again. So Jamie Dorey is leading, riding from the rear camera now. You can't even see it. He's in first. There is second. That's his teammate Lee Horn. Behind that is Rostand in the number 7. That's a very clever manoeuvre that they're doing there. We'll analyse that after the race. That's very, very clever in them basically preventing Rostance to get the overrun there. That is, in terms of basically that 63 of Lee Horn is just letting off the accelerator ever so slightly into that long left right-hander, and that's basically slowing Rostance down and allowing Jamie Dorey in that number 18 just to get that little bit extra speed through that corner. You always brake earlier, but you never brake that early. Very, very clever thinking there. Right, Perkis in the background. He's in the 55. He's trying to do something. We'll keep an eye on that battle as it unfolds at the front. Ola is on the back of Everett as well, and Anastasius is on the back of Rob South and Ian Deeney. Ola's on the back of Everett, and there's the two teammates. Everett's he's just in the middle of no man's. Paul Hans and Craig Deek. Does Paul Hans finally get the job done? Yes, he does. Right, the melee at the front is on. Benny Norton is trying to go around the outside of Rostance. That's just not going to work from there. Has he got it done? He has just enough. The question is now, there's Pavel, there's Rostance. What does Rostance do from here? Does he hit the brakes? Does he hold on to it? No, he's just suffering. Rostance was doing a stellar job, but I just don't think he's got the pace to lead to go for those front two. Poddy's in third at the moment, followed by Benny Norton, and Pavel's got himself up to fifth. Pavel is just using anybody and everybody just to go faster. Very clever move. Right, there's Kozlov. Kozlov is going backwards, and that 25 is Perkis. Perkis just hasn't showed up to the game this time out. Perkis is in the 55. Both of them run wide. It's going to be slow down penalties, left, right, and centre. So Cloughy has now got himself up to 8th. He's going to be checking himself out on the front. The question is, can he get Perkis? Poddy Flack, they're doing the old switcheroos. Poddy Flack is going to be the rear gunner of Benny Norton, and Benny Norton just messes up the manoeuvre. If you're going to do the old switcheroos, you've got to do it properly. Pavel is trying to muscle his way through. That's just not going to work. Contact in the background between Rostance and Pavel. It's getting very contentious in that section. They just need to slow it down. Right, the two at the front are basically just checking themselves out. As it stands at the moment, Pavel and Benny Norton, Poddy Flack have to do it. See, and that's the difference. We'll get that for the stream, and I'll show you the difference between those corners. They didn't hit the brakes in that section. Now these two are going to have to work together in order to clear the other two in the background. In there's Cloughy. Cloughy's on the back of Perkis. We've also got Anastasius and Ian Deeney. Anastasius just slides it for the crowd. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for that. Clough is on the back of his old buddy Perkis. There's Jeff Perkis. You can live stream with him as well. He's Scooby Sim Racer on YouTube. Check him out. We're riding on board now with Jeff Perkis. Next gen Crest Autosport Racer. There's Clough as we ride on board now with Cloughy. Can he do anything down to that front camera? He's attacking the man in front and defending from Kozlov behind. He's going to go for the old overlap here. He's not going to get that through. He's got 50 kilograms on board, and Perkis has just run himself wide. He's just run himself wide, and there's Butcher in the background in that Hyundai who's saying, "Oh, thanks very much, I'll rob the lot of you." There he is, the number 30. He's just pottering along by himself, checking himself out. He says, "Thanks very much, let's go, and that's what he's done. Does he mug him as well? Yeah, Perkis. Has Perkis got damage? Has Perkis got damage? No, all four wheels are pointing in the right way, but look at Butcher in that number 30. He's just picking people off. One by one, lap after lap, corner after corner, he's just picking people off. Paul Hans is in the background. Right, Alex Everett is a massive cork in the bottle now. He's in 13th and he needs to hold on to this if he wants any chance of holding on to his race. There is Stephen. He is a he is a championship winner last time out, CA3 category, I believe, might be CA2. Behind that is Ola. He's also new to the season and he's trying to do anything. And behind that has Alex, who is helping his buddies out as well. He's going to have to stick in that 15th. I think he's going for the tactical move. And behind that is Plummer. They're all on board. They're all absolutely nose to tail going through that section. The question is, can they do anything as we go to the heli camera? They're side by side. Whoa, there goes Alex. He's in the number 16. He's that 86. He's the 1-2 second car in the road. Plummer is the yellow number 8 as they go up the hill now. Can he do anything from here? Can he deliver anything? It is less than 5 minutes to go and they are nose to tail. Holding on to it. Clough has got past Kozlov. No, he hasn't, because Kozlov was fighting him. So we're just swept to the battle for 7th. This is 7th, 8th, 9th, and there's Perkis in 10th. Lopez, Stu Neal. Stu Neal's retired. Tim Johnson and Jamie Higgs, 27th, 28th, 29th, 9th, 30th, all retired. But Boki's still going. He's in 19th and making progress. On the back, he's just past Plummer in the background. There we go. But at the moment, Cloughy is once again turning into the roadblock. Is he managing those tyres? Is he holding on to that position just because he needs points? Kozlov is absolutely mighty fast in this car. He's absolutely doing all he can do. And what you'll notice as well is he's absolutely turning the screw up. But he's got Butcher. There's Butcher as well. He's behind. Poddy's on the back of Norton, and these two have now gone into drafting at the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, failing any major problems, are now locked into position, I would say, with 3 minutes 32 to go. But we'll keep an eye as that unfolds. Right, Alex Everett's got himself up to 13th, but this is it now. Kozlov is all over the back of Clough. This is Michael Clough. He's in 7th position. Poddy and Benny are going to look at swapping positions. Behind that, there is Kozlov. He's got to do something here. He's braked too early. He's going to get himself at least a little bit of a car's width there. He was so worried about running into the car ahead that it's resulted in nearly losing that position. Perkis is off the road again. Hans in the background could get himself a lovely little position into 10th. But he just needs to hold on to it. It's 2 more laps to go, including this one. If they're going to do it to 1, they're gripping about a 1:12. No, it isn't. It's 3 laps. Benny Norton slow down penalty. That's going to properly hinder him. Alex Ward is joining the melee. So that 86 is Alec. Behind on the right side is Ola in the 55. Oh, they're all nose to tail. He goes a little bit deep into there, but he breaks off Alex and he returns the position. That is good racing etiquette for Fraser Rostand's slow down penalty at the front. But Kozlov is once again close to tails. We're keeping an eye on that as it unfolds. Butcher's on the back of Kozlov. He's getting a slipstream. But there's Ola. Ola in the 55 has run wide. How many cars to positions does he lose? 1. Is Alex Ward going to mug him as well? Alex is that car on the left side. That one, the number 7. Yeah, he's just lost it. Going, no, he hasn't. He's managed to hold on to it just enough. Just enough. He's managed to hold on to it. It's all to play for as we go into the last 1 minute 56. It's going to be 1 lap, including this one, possibly. The 2 teammates working together at the front. Pavel is now on the back of Poddy Flack. And why I mean on the back of Poddy Flack, he's going to go in for a late braking manoeuvre up the inside of Norton. Norton thinks better of it. Norton runs wide. Norton runs wide. Pavel gave him just enough room, and he ticks the box and checks himself out. Absolutely exquisite move there. Scared him, and he went off into the distance. But Benny Norton, I think, is struggling at the moment with that configuration. There you can see Michael Clough. He's kind of on his own now. Butcher has done the deed, and he's got past Kozlov, and Perkis has also done that as well. Paul Hans is now. Has he damaged the car? I wouldn't expect Kozlov to be that slow, but he is. There might be some post-race stuff. Maybe Sergey can come on and tell us a bit more, but as it unfolds. But there is Pavel and there is Norton. There is the Opel Astra versus the actual esports driver of Pavel. That's why he's got his name on the car. Pavel, I don't know what this lot are doing, but they're all going for, they're all trying to break the toe, and they're all following each other. Benny Norton has gone defensive. Poddy's gone defensive. Whoa! He tabs the brake there. We'll have a look at that in replay. I'm not sure what happened there, but we've got that. But that's a DNF for Pavel. Unless he can get himself back on the road. He's got to get on the road. He's got to get on the road now. and he can get himself into 15th. And he's got to clear the car. How much damage has he got? How much damage has he got? How much damage has he got? Has he got all 4 wheels? Yes, he's got all 4 wheels. If he can just stay ahead of Alex Ward, he's going to get himself an absolutely stonking position into race 2. The car's squirming everywhere. Alex should mug him here. Yeah, he's gonna lose that position. Poddy, Flack and Norton, we did get that on the replay, so we're gonna have a look to see what happened post-race. Paul Hans is still going. He's now on the back of Kozlov, so Paul Hans is into 10th position. Boki is going to get himself up into 7th. So there is the 55. That is Pavel in the recovery. Behind that is the number 7. That is Ian Deaney. And then the number 8, that is Plummer. And they're all going to start mugging Pavel at the moment. I know Pavel's got himself sorted. So Pavel's in 16th. He needs to clear Alex Ward, and he has to do it on this lap. So he needs to basically set him up into the final 2 corners. He has the speed, he has the overlap here, so he should be able to do this. He should be able to just drive round the outside of him. This is vitally important. He's straighten the wheels up, go for the old switcheroo. Come on, Pavel. He needs to get this done. So he's going to be on the wrong side going into the corner, so he's going to have to brave it. He really needs to go back for the old switcheroo. That's what he needs to do. He's not going to get past. He needs to tuck it up on the inside, swing it to the right side. Lee Horn has taken the race win. Once again, I'm in the middle of the field, missing the race victory. Sorry about that. Pavel's not going to do it. So Lee Horn is your race winner as it currently stands. Absolutely sensational. Lee, well done. Takes it. Like I said, I predicted that. I thought he was going to do that. Jamie Dory takes 2nd. Benny Norton is 3rd. Flack is 4th. Fraser is 5th. Clough is 6th. Butcher is 7th. Perkis is 8th. Hans is 9th. Kozlov is 10th. He just lost a lot of speed. I don't know if he cooked his tyres. I don't know if it was the ballast on board that car. I don't know if he's ever run with ballast before. Craig Dietz in 11th, good position. Steve, solid position for him in 12th. Everett's 13th. Ward is 14th. Pavel is actually 15th. Pavel comes home in 15th. Why? Why is Pavel's 15th? Okay. So Pavel will be pole position for race 2. Race 3, Pavel should basically win race 3, is my prediction, because he has. I mean, Alex Ward could push him, but I don't think that's gonna happen, if I'm honest. There's your provisional. So you've got Ola in 16th. You've got Alec, Boki, Plummer, and everyone else who I completely forgot. Yeah. What a race. What a race. Absolutely sensational race. As I always say, all results are pending investigation, incidents and investigations. Right, let's go over to, I'm going to load up the analysis tool, because there are some really, really interesting things on what the drivers were doing coming into those couple of corners. So, it's this one I want to look at first. I think it is this one. Come on. So we're going to have a look, and it's the Next Gen Racing boys and what they were doing. It's some of the cleverest racing I've seen. So let's go across to the analysis tool. So we're going to load back in. I've got to wait for it to sort itself out. So this is the Next Gen. So Jamie Dory and Lee Horn won the race. Now, watch the gap, and this is the key. So when we're going through these corners, and this is a good overtaking gap here. The gap here always remains at about that distance. They never really close it up when they're in the middle of the pack. So what that does is it causes basically the rear pack, the chasing pack, to bunch up, and it allows the driver ahead to get a good drive. So by the point that they've actually halfway through the apex, there is a gap here, and there's a bigger gap here. And they were doing that lap after lap when they were in the middle of the pack. Now, when we actually go across to when they were racing basically on their own, and there was nobody else out with them, I think it was that one. No, it wasn't. When they were racing on their own, you will see that that gap didn't exist. And that's because they didn't need to have the gap. So when we get to here, so we're riding on board now. This is the same corner. We're in the corner entry. And if you notice, here, whoops, here, there is no gap between the two cars. And that's what they were doing lap after lap, corner after corner. Now, if I can find the onboard, I will show you the onboard. Because when they're on board, the car behind of those two was actually braking ever so slightly. And there's nothing wrong with that. That isn't a dirty move. It isn't anything untoward. It's just a very clever team playing move. And they weren't the only sets of drivers doing it through the event. So it's very clever what they're now doing and now what they're trying to think about and how they're trying to basically work together to maximize as many points as possible that they've got. So we do have a couple of other replays that we can look at. So this is the Fraser incident with Pavel. So this actually starts out over here. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's Pavel. I don't think I can actually zoom in yet. I haven't figured out how to zoom in. I'm still working on it. So there's Pavel, and there's Rostance. Now, if we just wind this forward a little bit forward, not at that speed, like that, he says, a little bit forward. Yeah, we don't, I can't, it's a bit tricky because there's Fraser there. He's in that car. And what you'll see is Fraser goes... yeah, I wouldn't know, because from that there is definite contact because... There's definite contact because Pavel... If you look at the rear end of Pavel's car here, it actually goes that way. That point there. And then Fraser goes into the grass that way. Without further onboard footage, we wouldn't be able to tell, unfortunately. So that's one of those that if it is submitted is always for the stewards. Again, my viewpoint isn't the right viewpoint. My viewpoint is just how I see and perceive it. So there's always hundreds and hundreds of talking points, as always. And it's just one of those. And this is... I don't know what this one was. Oh, that was Kozlov going wide. But again, it was you see this, and this final corner is very, very important. So what you'll see here is if you've got, so this is Perkis, and Perkis will take that line, and then Kozlov basically just goes off over here. But there's enough room between the two drivers. But as a result, if we wind it back a bit, slow it down, you'll see them follow both the lines. But more importantly, when we get to here, at that point, there is more than a car's width between the two drivers. So there's a lot of overtaking, a lot of mistakes happening at that corner. Kozlov manages to get himself back on the road. He keeps his foot planted all the way through. And as you can see there's the gap that was left between those two drivers. Again, that's the way I read it. There's enough gap between those two. But more importantly, that does then allow Kozlov to come in. And it's just a bit messy, I think. Yeah, that's one of those, really. It's a half a dozen and one, nothing of another, really, because he might, could have hit the apex a bit more and there could have been a bit more room left between those two drivers. Again, you'd have to look at the onboards, but I think that's one of those nothing. It's a bit naughty between both of them. They could have left a little bit of room, I think, but besides that, there was no advantage gained and no position lost, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, you could argue that half a dozen of one and half a dozen of the other, to be honest. It'll all come down to onboards if they ever submit it, so that'd be one of those things, really. As I always say with stuff like this, it's how I read it and how I look at it. I only have the feed that comes from Race Room. I don't have the other stuff. Right, let's go across to race 3. So obviously there's always multiple talking points, and there's always different ways of looking at things. Right, we are going to go across to race 3. It is live for the final race of this evening. Who is going to be victorious? Who is going to take the win? We're going to find out, and it's lights out and away we go. And Pavel has gone side by side with Ola. He should get this job done immediately. Fantastic. He's got it done. He's got all he needs to do, and he's 0.3 of a second ahead. Alex Ward is right behind. Alex Everett's into 4th. He's the 1, 2, 3, 4th car in the row, but the rest of the field is in the middle of a melee. And as you can see there, you've got Michael Clough is going to attempt to go round the outside of Benny Norton. Has he done it? No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. He's just still holding on to the middle of the pack at the moment, but the problem is that middle field is absolutely stuck together. Riding from the rear end here of Perkis, you can see them 3 wide. There is going to be an accident. That 96 is going to have to sort himself out. They're all going to run wide. Butcher's gone wide. Anybody else running wide? Oh, the 2 Jamie Dorys run wide. Perkis has gone off. Rostance has gone off. They are all nose to tail going through corner 1. Oh, there's a little bit of a sim twitch at the front, but not enough to cause any damage. Pavel is in the lead, followed by Alex Everett. This is perfect for Pavel's championship hopes. He just needs to get the job done. Perkis is on the move. Cloughy's on the move. Benny Norton's on the move. There is a lot of drivers on the move. The question is, which one of them is going to be the driver that takes the checkered flag? Sensational stuff there. Pavel, fastest lap in the race. There is Clough. He's right at the front of that. There is Benny Norton. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between all of the 3 drivers, and that's just caused a massive melee in the back. There's the 79 of Ian Dean, Derek Neal right at the back of that field. It's getting very messy in that middle pack. They need to sort themselves out pretty quickly if they want to go anywhere forward, because if they don't, it's just going to be horrendous as we get through the closing stages of this race. But as it stands at the moment, Butcher has got Alex side by side. Alex in that number 16 position. He's behind Lee Horn now. Butcher's just in the middle. He's in the melee of a sandwich here. He's going to have to... Oh, there's contact in the background. They're going to sort themselves out. They need to just level down a little bit. There's Plummer in the bright yellow car in the number 8. Has he sorted himself out? Yeah, they're all now after lap 1. Just sorting themselves down onto lap 2, sorting themselves out now. So Pavel is going to come round to take lap 3. There's Alex Ward. He's going to get a little bit of a shifty on now. But Jamie Dorey has got Cloughy right at the back of him. This is Jamie Dorey. He's in 10th position. There is Cloughy. Pavel, another fastest lap. He is knocking these out at the front. He's going to go, well, I got 15th last race. I'm going to get first. And you can see there, Fraser Rostance was trying to sell Craig Deeks a dummy at the front, but it's not going to happen. Poddy Flack is side by side with the bright yellow Honda. I got it right this time, of Paul Hans. Up the hill we go, into 4th, into 5th, into 6th. He's driving up the RPM to take it into the stratosphere. What can he do here? It's the bright yellow Honda, which probably was an Audi, of Paul Hans. Right behind that is Poddy Flack, and you can see there Benny Norton is trying to sell Perkis a dummy, but it's not working because Jamie Dorey is going to pop the lot of them. Jamie Dorey's in the number 18. Does he get this done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He's got a much better turning there. He's got more grip on the inside of the apex. No position change in the background. Lee Horn's gone off the road, but he's just struggling in 14th. He's not really making progress. There's Alec in the 86. He should go past him. Lee is just not having a good day at the moment. Just enough room left between both of them. Oh, a little bit of a contact. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. Plummer and Derek Neal are side by side. Behind that is Lopez and Kirby. Pavel, another fastest lap. He's absolutely knocking it out the park here. Has he managed to do anything? No, he hasn't. Right. There's a melee right at the front here. As I say, I shouldn't call it a melee. It's absolutely all over the place. Stephen lost connection at the start. Cannot believe it. So he will be a DNF, which will not help his championships. Kozlov is on the move. He's on the back of Johansson. We'll keep an eye on that. It's 3rd, 4th and 3rd. But this is the battle in the midfield at the moment. You've got Poddy Flack on the back of Hans. There is Hans riding on board with Poddy Flack. Poddy's going to try to go around the outside. So is a number of them. There is Perkis in the 55. He's the white car. He's going to try and go around. He's gone over the front of Benny. He's got it done. Sensational move there from Perkis. Jamie Dory's joining the party. He's the number 18, riding on board now with Dory. He's the car right at the back of this train. The question is he going to be able to do anything from here? Is he going to be able to hold on to it? There it is. There is 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th and 3rd. And there's Cloughy, number 11. He's joining the party. He's saying, hey, I'm coming, I'm coming. And if we look at Perkis, he is in the middle of the melee. At the moment, it is nose to tail, but Pavel at the front is just controlling the pace. Paul Hans is going after Kozlov. What has gone on with Kozlov? He is just not a happy bunny in that number 79. There he is, Kozlov. The 55 is Ola, and he's doing a stellar job at the front. Ola is just blocking everybody in the road. He's doing a Brendel from last week out at Brands Hatch, and so is Hans. Hans is absolutely doing all he can do to stay onto that position, but the question is, how much more has he got left? How much more can he hold on? Can Kozlov go past Ola? He needs to get this done. He's just losing out in that position. Alex Ward's on his own. He wants to get another top 3 finish. In the background, it's just all basically stagnant at the moment with less than 10 minutes to go. But is it going to be a 10 minutes to a photo finish or 10 minutes to a photo crash? It's going to be very exciting as we find out with 9 minutes. Left-hander we go, second but last corner, 9 minutes remaining, and it is a parking lot, a second-hand car parking garage on the road at the moment. Who is going to be victorious of this? At the moment, the front two have checked themselves out, but Ola here, he is the massive corking the bottle. He is blocking from 4th to 10th. And 11th, they're all just fighting each other. They're quicker and slower at different parts of the racetrack, and that's the problem. Hans in that bright yellow DHL Honda is trying to find his way past Kozlov, who is the number 79, but doing that, Poddy Flack, oh, there's contact, there's contact, there's contact, I cannot believe it. Paul Hans has gone, oh no, there goes my car into the water. I cannot believe it. Paul Hans, does he recover? No, he doesn't, he's gone. Paul Hans has gone. He sent himself to the barrier. That's him done. Yeah, he's not even on there. He's gone. He's not even on my board. How far has he gone back? He's gone really far back. These lot are all fighting as well. So Boki, he's fighting. There's Paul. There's Russ Butcher with a very second-hand car at the front. Now, it could be that the game's just twitched, not that the car's... I think the game's twitched. It isn't that his car is actually damaged. But Boki has got Alex right on his rear end. Alex is the 86, Boki is the 25. Alfa Romeo versus Honda versus Stu Neal, who's also trying to get in. And then you've got Butcher right at the back of that. Carl Smith and Jamie Higgs are going at it as well. This is 24th and 25th. Jamie Dory, slow down penalty. Right, Poddy Flack is on the back of Ola again. And Kozlov in that 79 is also joining the party. At the moment, Ola is doing absolutely a superb defending job of just holding up everybody. And again, Ola is just doing enough to get what he needs to do, but the problem is with 7 minutes to go, you just get the feeling he's running out of time. He's running out of time. Poddy Flack has gone for it again. Alex Ward's on the back of Pavel. I say he's on the back of Pavel. He's side by side. He's gone up the inside. Pavel is not going to let him have that position any time today. He's not going to go around the outside. Pavel just needs to sit at the background now of Alex and just hold on to the position, but it's swapped all over again. He needs to stay within 1 to 2 tenths of a second and he can get the job done. Right, Ian Deeney is on the back of Craig Deeks as it stands at the moment, but Jamie Dory is in the middle. So this is the battle from all the way from 3rd now to 13th. So 3rd to 13th is now effectively in a massive train of car park. And they're all faster and slower. And that's what I was saying. Pavel just needs to sit there quietly. He's got 6 minutes remaining. He doesn't need to overwork those tyres. He can do it as Kozlov did on the last lap. He just has to keep Alex busy. He just has to keep looking, pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. Because he's going to get it done that way. Now he's right on the rear end, so much so that he's actually reading the number plate. He's smelling the 98 octane of that engine ahead. He's like, oh, he's running Motel G's. I've got Castrol GTX in that engine. And that's how close he is. At the front, there you can see Poddy Flack is going to attempt to go past. He's not going to go around there. Poddy's going to attempt to go past Ola. Ola, thinking better of it, has just got it done. Now, the problem is Poddy is going to go after Alex Ward, and that's the problem. So Ola, I get the feeling, is going to get mugged, but Ola doesn't mind, because Ola, well, he probably does, but he's absolutely holding on to it as it needs to be. He just needs to finish top 10, and it would be one of his best results this season. Tick the box, get it done. That's what I say. He's on for it here. Kozlov is trying to push. He's in the 79. Benny Norton is stuck now with Jamie Dorey. Michael Clough has got himself up to 9th. So it's going to be tricky, and you can see there Poddy Flack is side by side with Alex Ward, and he's into 3rd position. Pavel is now on the back. He's side by side with Alex. He's just not going to go round there. He needs to be a bit clever with this, to be honest. So he keeps trying to go around the outside, but it's not going to get done there. In the background, you can see Jamie Dorey in the middle of the melee. He's the 19. The 34 is Michael Clough, and Benny Norton is the other Opel Astra. A little bit of a cut in there. Tried to close the door. A little bit naughty, but near us enough. It won't make no difference. Benny Norton's hold on to us. Pavel is now on the back, and we're keeping an eye as that unfolds. The problem is the car in front is punching the hole in the air. There's Benny Norton. Cloughy's just gone off on his own, I think. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Pavel is now on the back, so this is once again back for the battle for the lead. I'm keeping up with the battles as they unfold. Pavel is going to go up the inside. Sensational move there. Oh, he's run wide. He's run wide. There's contact. There's contact between the two drivers. Has that cost Pavel? Will that cost him with 4 minutes to go? We did get that on replay, so we will have a look post-race. Pavel's managed to hold the position, but Everett's holding on to it. Everett's going to go for a dive. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. He's going to play the long game now. The car in front is not where you want to be. You want to be the car behind, as it stands at the moment. So they're going to have to really think about this. Pavel's put himself into a awkward position with 3 minutes 33, and I think the dice has now changed. Right, back to the battle for the midfield. So Alex Ward is now the cork in the bottle. Ola is now into 5th position. He's in the 55. There he is. And as we ride from the rear camera, there is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And again, it is all nose to tail. There you can see Benny Norton trying to go up the inside of Kozlov. Kozlov will see him come in, leaves the door open, and he'll go for the old switcheroo. But he's not. He just hasn't got the drive. He hasn't got the drive coming out those corners. And I think it's to do with ballast. And that Kozlov has then left the door open for Jamie Dorey. He's the first of those 2 Honda Civics, the number 18 Tierra Montego Civic, and yeah, he's just not going to... I think he's suffering with the ballast. I think he's suffering, and I think that's the problem. I don't know if he's run with ballast before. Maybe someone on the stream can tell us, but yeah, he's just suffering, and it's helping him. So Benny Norton is now on the back of Ola. So he's on the back of his side by side. It's the 55. He's not going to go through there. They're going to have to give just enough room. And once again, they're stuck. And there's the 55 of Perkis. So Perkis is just stuck at the back of this. And Rostance has now joined the party. So it's 2 laps to go, including this one. And then it will be race over. The question is, who is going to take the checkered crown? Who is actually going to do it? We're riding on board now with Ola. And that's Benny Norton right beside him. They're 2 by 2 as they go into this corner. This is one of the key overtaking opportunities. And you get the feeling it's swung again because... Whoa, there's contact. It's all gone wrong in the side. Kozlov, a little bit of a touch there, trying to avoid Ola, has got himself a little bit sim-twitchy at the back. That's allowed the 18 of Jamie Dorey to come up. Perkis has mugged Lee Horn. Perkis in that 55 is going to mug his old mate Kozlov and be like, thanks very much, buddy, that's mine. 34 of Stu Neal in the background has gone off, and it's all kicking off at the back. It's a 1:13 lap, so it'll be 2 more laps to go. Pavel is trying to break the toe at the front, but look at this, it's 3 wide. It's 3 different manufacturers all trying to go into turn 1. It's just going to have to sort themselves out. The 63 of Horn puts it on 2 wheels, holds it just enough, and look at Fraser in the number 7. He's going, well, if you put it on 2 wheels, I'm going to mug the lot of you. Fantastic there from Rostance, riding on board with him now as we climb the hill. And he's going to be gaining on Perkis. Perkis is the bright white Alfa Romeo just ahead, and there's Kozlov in the 79, and behind this is Lee Horn, and they're all gaining on each other. It's gaining and gaining and gaining, but Rostance has left the door open, and surely that's going to allow the 63 to sneak up the inside. Yes, it does, and look at Stu Neal. He's in that Renault Megane number 34 at the back, and sparks are flying all over the road. It's all kicking off. Pavlov is still leading by 0.3 of a second. He needs to just maintain that to take the victory. At 20, he needs to stay in front of the car behind to be the first one across the flag. That's what he needs to do. 20 seconds, 1 lap to go. The battle is on at the front. And it's the battle in the middle and the battle at the back. As it stands at the moment, Alex Ward is coming back at Podiflak. It's the last of the podium positions. So Benny Norton is going to try and get past Alex Ward on the last lap. It's all kicking off. Alex is being passed by Stu Neal and Ian Deaney. Ian Deaney's the number 7. The 34 is Stu Neal. And that 86 is Alec. And he just hasn't found the speed he needed. In these races 2 and 3, he's just not been anywhere near what he should be. I don't know if it's the ballast that's played a key there, but he was faster. Right, the battle is on at the front. Alex Ward is going to try to get past. Alex Everett, sorry, is going to try to go for the old switcheroo on Pavel. Pavel's in the 55. Whoa, there's twitch. There's a twitch between two of them. We've got that on stream. We're going to have a look at that post-race. He's checked himself out. I think he had an accident all by himself, to be perfectly honest. But we will have a look post-race to see what happened. But that's going to put him down all the way in 6th position. Pavel will take the provisional race victory. Poddy and Benny are going to take 1st and 2nd. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not, because Alex Ward is going to take provisional 3rd. Absolutely sensational. So Pavel takes the lead. Poddy is 2nd, followed by Alex, followed by Benny, Jamie, Alex, Ola, Perkis, Lee Horn, Michael Clough, Kozlov, Rostance, Alex, Stu Neal, Ian Deaney, Boki, Craig Deeks, Lopez, Derek Neal. Those were all basically nose to tail for the race. Plummer, Kirby, Campion, Jamie Higgs, Butcher, Johnson, Smith and Anastasios. And that brings up the 27 field. What a race. What a race. Nose to tail. Now we have got lots to analyse, which we will have a look at the end of the race. Well, there is the provisional results of race 3. As it stands at the moment. But as always, these are post any incidents or accidents. Lee Horn takes fastest lap, and Pavel takes race win as it currently stands. And there are going to be lots and lots of talking points for this race. Right, let's get over to the analyzer. I have got lots on this at the moment, as it stands at the moment. So let's have a look at what we got. As it stands, did I hit the replay button? That's the problem. I thought I did. If I didn't, then we missed it. No, I got it. Okay, so here we go. Let's go across to the analyzer and let's have a look. So as always, these are just the way we look at it. So there's always going to be lots and lots of talking points. So this was the final lap of the final race. So this is Alex Everett and Pavel close together. So we're going to slow it down. I think Alex Everett just has an accident all by himself, to be perfectly honest. So he goes, yeah, he's lost the rear end. So he goes up the inside. At this point, there's no contact. So here, again, we can't see the camera. So at this point here, right here, the rear end goes this way. And that, unfortunately, puts them both on a constant bearing at that point. So at this point, Pavel is steering away, and Alex is then steering into the slide. The problem with that is, they then basically, Alex then has to make the correction into the car, at which point Pavel, because they're side by side, is then attempting to basically go into a straighter line, and they just connect. Yeah, and at that point they connect. The bit that's a bit weird is Alex then turns in, and I think he's correcting the car again. So at that point, Pavel is trying to come. I've got the wrong button. He is trying to come this way, and you'll watch this. But Alex then goes like this, and at that point, they basically then end up bouncing off each other, is the way I put it. There you go. And then they're both trying to correct slides, and the inevitable then happens. Yep. Yeah, so they're both correcting slides. So without seeing the onboards, there's no dust being kicked off there. So without seeing the onboards, that's the point of impact. If Alex had lost the car before that point, he had an accident all by himself, unfortunately. And it's one of those things. It's I would class that as a racing incident, to be perfectly honest. Because they're both trying to correct each other's cars, basically, at this point, and the inevitable is going to happen. Because here, the contact is made, and the only thing that's going to happen at this point is that car will go that way, and that car will... I am genuinely surprised that car did not crash. But yeah. So that's how I read that. I would read that incident, to be honest. It's one of those things, really. It's just one of those things that happen. Did we pick up anything else that was interesting? This is the new features. Again, we're working on the new features, so I'm just trying to pick up certain. I don't think I picked up the race start, unfortunately. Let's have a look at this one. No, this was just a good. This was just this was one of the. Yeah, it's just the massive pack that we're running at now. So, yeah. So this was a question that did pop up during stream. So the question that was asked is why is Pavel? Why do we see the cars weaving on the track? Now there is a rule to do with that. So what you'll actually see, and they're not weaving, is that Pavel, Alex, and Everett, Alex and Pavel, they go like this. Oh, they come across here. They go this way, and then they come down here. It's a really crude drawing, and then they come back. So they basically do that line in the stream. Now it's not weaving, because if they were weaving, they would be doing this, basically. And there's a difference. So when you're weaving left and right across the track and the car is basically within it, you can be classed as blocking, basically, is what you're doing is you're blocking left and right. You can't do that. But when you're in a slipstream and you're basically not, you're doing this, so he actually comes out of the line, goes then to the right and back in, and you'll notice Alex follows as well, and both Alexes follow. That's completely legal. So that did come up as a question. I saw that, and that's completely legal. They are allowed to do that because then the distance between the two cars, and it's all to do with the distance between the two cars. It's this distance here. They're trying to break the toe, which is what we were talking about at the start of the stream. If it's any bigger than that, then they can't do it. So yeah. That came up, and that was one of those things. I don't think I got the race start, which is a shame. No, did I get the race start? No, I don't think I did. I might have done. Let's have a look. Sometimes I get the race start. Yes, I did. No, that was that was the start of race 2. No, I didn't get it. So it is what it is. Right. Let's have a look across the Discord, and we're going to see if there's any racers in there that want to chat. That would be 100% no. There's no racers in there that want to chat. It does happen from time to time, as we see it in there as well. So, yeah, we'll see if we've got anything else on the analyzer, and if not, then we can pop ourselves back and we'll have a quick roundup. So, I think this was the Paul Hans incident. We're still working on coding everything. So this was the other thing. So this is what's classed as borderline, basically. So what they're doing here is weaving to break the toe. Now, the car distance is important because in theory, if we look at the distance, we do have the magnifying option here. I don't know where if we look at the distance, We could look at the distance, but the box doesn't work, as you'd expect. Here we go. We do have a box. So if we look at the magnifying, if I take the box and we put that here, right, what we're looking at is this distance here. So that distance there is what's important. Because if you notice, the distance is actually effectively more than basically it's more than a car. And the rule is it's to do with the length of the car. Now, you could argue that a Peugeot is smaller than a Honda. But effectively, what we see through that section is that the cars are actually weaving together. But, and this is the key, the corner is a lot further out. So we're at the 400 board, which is here. So they are now, I've put it in the wrong way, it's there. So they're now coming up to the corner. And if you look, the car that was at the front of the queue has now, you won't actually see it. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button. You won't actually see now, if we magnify, go back to the magnifier. I'm still learning this technology. Yeah, so if we actually move the glass, move the box to here, now make one defensive move. So he could move left or right. But because there was that weaving action going up the hill, then he then has to stay straight. Because you could then end up saying that, well, actually he's making more than one defensive move. But if you actually, if we slow this down, he actually then doesn't make any move. He then makes his one defensive move and stays there. But it's very slow and controlled. It's not a sharp left, so it isn't a weave. Pavel then goes into the gap, as you see here, and then there's actually contact. So this is the bit that gets a bit weird. So he's following him. So this is one where, so this is where we get the contact. So that I would say is fine. So he goes to the left, and then he starts going. See, now this is where it gets a bit tricky. So if we actually look at where the car, but there's space to the left. Yeah, that was, you'd have to see onboards for that. So this is what caused Pavel's incident in race 2. So he goes for, just again, is there contact? Yeah, there's contact. At that point, there's contact. That's a tricky one for me. You'd have to look at the onboards because there is enough space, but equally, the system would have known they were there. So I don't know. It depends on what is put in there. I wouldn't say it was a race. I mean, looking at it again, I'd need the onboards again. The same as the other incident between the other incident that we were just looking at. That's yeah. He's going for the corner, but it's a bit tricky. It's a very tricky one for that one. It would all depend on the steering positions of the cars behind. That's what I'd have to look at. Do I think there'd be a penalty for that? Probably, if it's submitted. But that's how I'd read that one, to be honest. So that was another question that came up during race 2. Now that we've got the analyzer, it turns out a lot of people want to know answers to things. So I'll quickly check over to Discord. Yeah, there's nobody in the Discord at the moment. So I'm going to leave it at that. Absolutely fantastic racing. I'm hoping you're enjoying the racing so far. There's always hundreds and hundreds of talking points. And as I'll always say, the stuff that I look at on stream is only one camera view. It's nice now that we've got this ability to analyse the racing as it's happened. Before, we've never had that option. We do now. But all I would say is please remember that it's only the live feed view I have. A lot of this stuff we would need extra onboards. We aren't Sky F1, unfortunately, so we don't have access to all of that information, which is a shame. I wish we did, but we don't. So yeah, that's it for the evening. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back next week. We will be at the Norris Ring. Someone will probably correct me on how to say that. And that is an absolutely fantastic fantastic race circuit. I absolutely love that race circuit. In terms of what we've got. So I think that'll be an absolutely amazing track, to be perfectly honest. But we will see what happens. As always, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share it with all your friends. It's a good laugh, to be honest. you can always cut. They'll always be cut to the places that you can watch. Get yourself on our Discord. It is really worth it. Great bunch of racers. As always, racing's always heated, regardless of what it is. And it's a great place to race at, to be perfectly honest. I love it. I love the commentary doing it on it as well. So, yeah, check yourselves out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings. And I will see you next week.
you